Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Thank you so much for being here first, CB. And let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, not you. Okay. That was, I can't say the name because it's going to talk to me, but that was my phone. My phone thought I was talking to it or them or they. So, yeah, certain words. And my phone goes, uh huh. Okay, Joyce Anderson, Heather Stroud, Barbara Harris, thank you for being here. Janice Goodrich, Compton Cali Gal. Anyway, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Hey, Church Nelly. All right. Veronica Quick, Karen with a C. All right. Hazel Jones, welcome, welcome. All right, let's get going. You know, I still can't believe it. Somebody, please wake me up and say, you know what? He is still working on his castle somewhere in the French countryside, and this was all a misunderstanding. I mean, let me see, I think his birthday, what day was his birthday? Please tell me it wasn't the 13th because that was the day that oh man, I cannot believe it. I was such a big fan of his work. And, it's just like I'm so committed. I'm like, we got to finish this castle. Anyway, yeah. And of course, because of the algorithm, stuff is popping up on my social media. Well, it seems like not only was he a doctor, but it seems like he could perform marriages, a justice of the peace, maybe. I wonder what they call that in France. Maybe because he's a doctor that he's allowed to. But then again, he lived between the UK and the French Republic. So, you know what I mean? He may have a home in both places, but I don't know if this is a French wedding or if this is an English wedding. But either way, it seems as though he was more than qualified. Anthony Kalman? Yeah, it seems like he was more than qualified to do a lot of things, whether it's restoring the castle, performing the wedding ceremony, or cosmetic procedures. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this doctor um, died suddenly. Died suddenly. I'm looking at my, I think it was Instagram, and I saw this, and I'm just like, that's confusing. I just could not make myself believe that he's no longer alive. Well, that's exactly what it meant. So, anyway, as they say, this too shall pass. But how could someone so full of life, with so many great friends, celebrities, his patients, people in the chateau community? I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a chateau community. There's even a channel on YouTube called So Chateau, and he is one of their stars. He had his own channel too, of course. But okay, and we're just going to have to accept it is a real thing that somebody so young and vigorous could, I can't even say the words. But I guess it's real because they keep posting. So he had a lot of friends. So I'm going to have to make myself believe it. All right. Happy Sunday if you just joined us. And of course, in case you didn't know, Harry and Meghan are not former royals. They are His Royal Highness, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, and Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, or Princess Henry of Wales, Princess Meghan, whatever you want to say. They are Prince and Princess. So, our Duke and our Duchess, they are still quite royal, no matter what they say. It's amazing how some of them will throw out there, well, they're not royal anymore. They're not? Could have fooled me. Okay, I guess if Queen Elizabeth did not give you a house that's so big it has two postal codes and you only pay what, £5 a year for it? I guess if that's the um, benchmark, I guess if you don't rise above that in life, if you haven't reached that level, then maybe you're not royal. Yeah, maybe they're not royal. Since nobody gave them a house, the only house that was gifted to them was taken away, viciously snatched away from them. Um, but I guess you know what? They are just going to have to spend their time looking amazing and being in love. Yes, maybe they don't have a home gifted to them by the late Queen Elizabeth, but what they do have is a lot of spirit, and they have a house that overlooks the ocean. So, yeah, believe it or not, I believe you have to be on the second floor, but you can quite easily see the sunset over the Pacific Ocean. That's how we rolling. That is how we're rolling. And we're rolling on the river. Listen to the story. uh, so, Vogue Runway. Check it out. Vogue Runway. The standout red carpet looks this week were sleek and streamlined with unique details. See the best dressed stars from Zendaya to Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Ratchia, Connie Balmer. I got another one of those beautiful decorative boxes from Switzerland with some amazing goodies. Anyway, thank you so much for the care package. It was quite a surprise and beautiful too. It will also match some of my existing things. Yeah, things. So thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. I felt absolutely special. All right. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. But yes, thank you very much, Connie Balmer. All right. I know my voice has been a bit strained lately. I have not been taking my reflux medication the way I should, and I am paying the price for it. So I have to, I was being so consistent, but I let it get away from me. So I have to get back on track again. I tell you, that darn acid. So, yes, Meghan was on a list of women who seemed to set the red carpet ablaze. But you know who wasn't on any kind of list like that? And it's rare they should ever be on a list like that. I watched this guy who covers things like the Met Gala and red carpets everywhere. And he's not a Meghan fan. He's not a anybody else in that family fan. However, His response the last time, I think it was for the BAFTA Awards, I think he said she looks adequate. Speaking, of course, of Kate Middleton, she looks adequate. Nice. She looks nice. Um, you know, nothing more, nothing less. Whereas, of course, when Meghan went to the 15% gala, it was all about references to old Hollywood glamour, that kind of thing. So you really can't beat it. And of course, there again is Meghan in that beautiful Ralph Lauren gown, a navy blue, don't you know? And don't be surprised if you see a photo very soon of Kitty walking away from the camera like that. The last time Meghan had any kind of photo, not that photo, but a video like that, and of course a photo, it did not take Kensington Palace long. It did not take them long. They even had the binder in hand. Oh, those people, they make you just want to up Chuck. Hey, Lydia Washington. Now, Rihanna Mills joins King Charles' team and exposes the royal media revolving door. Well, that's a lot all in one clean swipe. Yes, Rihanna Mills is leaving her post. What is it at ITV? Well, whichever channel it is. She's leaving that and she's going to work for Charles and Godzilla. She won't be the first one. That what's his name? Adrian guy, something like that. The one who is in charge of the WhatsApp group for the Royal Rota. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I believe Rebecca English is in charge, but they stay in constant communication with Clarence House or Buckingham Palace. As Harry said, the Royal Rota, which is about 40 years old, is an extension of the tabloid media. And they are very guarded about who can and who cannot have access to the royals. Okay? But it's all part of the game. All right. And I believe that is Rihanna Mills. I believe that is her husband or partner or whatever. Something like that. And those fugitives from a deck of cheap playing cards, that's Charles and Godzilla. I cannot stand that purple outfit that Charles is wearing. If that ain't the most pimped out looking stuff I've ever seen, pimp! Looking just like a pimp, a straight up pimp. The only thing that's missing is a diamond in the back, a sunroof top, and digging the scene with a gangster lean. That's the only thing that's missing. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's see. The People's Duchess. Baron, please take your reflux meds as needed. I will. I definitely will, because I am paying the price for it right now. It just kind of got away from me. But yes, it is very important. You put your health in jeopardy if you don't. Also, maybe I should have one less cup of coffee or two. The coffee is not a good thing either. So the acid, and I drink it black. Okay, but thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, People's Duchess, I was listening to you the other day while I was prepping, and then I kind of got lost in the news of the day. But I'm going to have to check out your channel another time because it's like I'm always so busy through the day, so I don't get a chance to hear most people, and I really am sorry about that. But I'm going to come back next time I see you on and hang out. So, and that is a promise. Now, oh, wait a minute. Was I done with that? After more than a decade of covering the royal family for Sky News, not ITV, Sky News, Rihanna Mills is leaving journalism behind. You know, that's implying that she was ever a journalist in the first place. Anyway, she's leaving journalism behind or something thereabouts and stepping straight into Buckingham Palace as King Charles and Queen Godzilla's new media secretary. You see there? She's stepping right into the role. It should be easy since she's been pretty much an extension of the palace anyway. Whatever you report has probably been approved by the palace. So why even make the announcement? You'll be spending just as much time with Charles and that woman. From reporting on the royals to working for them, there is very little daylight. Very little daylight. Mills has spent years reporting on the monarchy, traveling across the world, interviewing senior royals, and covering some of the institution's most sensitive moments. Now, she will be helping to shape how that same institution communicates with the public. Like I said, it's just like riding a bicycle. It ought to come very easy for Rihanna Mills. Her new role places her inside the palace press office. Why does any of this seem remotely new? It's going to put her right inside of the palace press office, reporting to communications director Tobin Andrea. That's that one I was talking about earlier. And replacing Laura Sullivan. In other words, she is no longer observing the stories. She is helping to write it, or she is helping to orchestrate and contrive and make up and all that other stuff. Yeah, she's not. She's not going to help them report the news. She's going to tell them what to report. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so that's what Rihanna Mills is doing. She is going to just move from one side to the other. It doesn't matter. They're all part of the same group. There were going to be a point anyway where she receives her OBE, MBE, her whatever those trinkets are. She was going to get one anyway. So, yeah, she always gets invited to the best of everything. Now she can give out those invitations. Revolving door everyone pretends not to see. This is part of the media prefers to glide past when journalists step straight into roles as working for the very institution they once covered. The question is not about future independence, it's about whether that independence ever truly existed. Anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to put the link on the chat and I'll let you check out this article. because I kind of feel like I've covered this a bit elsewhere. So there is the link. Plus, I want to try to stick as close to an hour as possible. I was doing good for a while there, but now I'm drifting into 2 hours, 3 hours. Yeah, I got to I have to pull it back. Okay, so there's the link. And let me pin that to the top of the chat. Okay, done. John Garcia says, Baron, I'm still scratching my head with New Squatty's podcast with either British voices or AI British voices. Where did they all come from? Well, the AI, I don't exactly know how they put those together, but it writes the scripts, it does everything. So I was very much against any AI type of, like, let's say a documentary, but some I have found myself watching. But the way they pronounce words, you might think it's the real deal, but it's not. Now, today I saw some coverage of the conflict in the Middle East, the unprovoked attack on a sovereign nation, and the wholesale slaughter of, well, the supreme leader. Anyway, what I noticed is there are some like YouTube videos, and when I went to check the contents, they said that an American vessel had been destroyed. And when I went to check for it, yes, that ship did exist. There was, as a matter of fact, there were 4 ships in the Navy with the same name at any given time, but just not recently. So the video that I watched was AI generated. The thing that they reported didn't even happen. And the reason why I was so pulled into it is because I was shocked. I'm just like, how could something that terrible have happened and the American people are not hearing about it? That's because it didn't happen. That ship does not exist presently. It was decommissioned years ago. And so you really have to be careful. And thank you so much, Joan Garcia, for bringing that topic up, because it doesn't cost them anything to make up stories. It really doesn't. And there seems to be more AI videos than they are people actually out there doing the work. So let that sink in. And I figure it's only going to get worse in the future. It's only going to get worse because people are going to become dependent upon the AI for everything, just like we have been very dependent upon our phones, our mobiles to keep appointments, right? The calendar feature. It's our alarm clock. It's so many things to us. And at some point, there's going to be so many people leaning on the whatever service for information that a lot of bad information is going to spill out there. So I'm going to give you some advice that I've given before. If you find yourself using the AI, artificial intelligence, still do an old fashioned search. I use the Google for my search engine and try to find at least 3 articles that reinforces whatever point you're trying to make. Okay? Because those first 3 articles will probably be the more popular articles about whatever subject. And so there's a greater chance that it is correct. But then again, if the AI starts writing those particular things, oh, we are in trouble. But for now, the technology is here, it's not going anywhere. And so we just have to learn to live with it. But if you want to remain a step ahead of everyone else, make sure you go and do some more in depth searching for the truth. Okay? Okay. Thank you again, Joan Garcia, for the very good question or comment. All right. So, next, Home Office tries to block new security for Prince Harry and Meghan because they fear taxpayer reaction to footing the bill. Just as I said yesterday, how would the public even know about this but for the fact that people have been nosing around in somebody else's business and then putting it out there? And then, of course, in the Sussex's case, as though it is, you know, it determines whether or not we are in a prosperous world, whether or not the trains run on time. Everything hinges on what the Sussexes are doing next. Everything, every facet of life, they'll find some connection to Meghan. It is the most bizarre thing because I'm only used to seeing this during an election season, which, if you know U.S. politics, most public offices, they're going to start their campaigning anywhere from 2 years to 18 months outside of the election day. They just do. And it gets pretty wild. It really does get pretty wild. If you live in a state where there's a Senate seat or congressional district up for grabs, then you get 24-hour commercials. You can't even touch anything without them recommending that you watch a commercial. So, yeah, it's going to be a pain in our necks. But yeah, so the Home Office tries to block security for Prince Harry and Meghan because they fear the taxpayer is footing the bill. And I promise you, nobody would even care except for the hostility that's being created by the press. Harry offered to pay for his security a long time ago, but they said, oh, well, this is the Met Police. We don't, the Royal Protection Officers, they do not accept the payment. You can't just buy this. You just can't buy that, even though Charles did this and that, even though other people did this and that. It only changes because of that woman of color. That's when it changes. And Harry is no longer the gender avenger. Harry is light-skinned Harry. Yeah, he takes on that ethnic background right along with her, figuratively, of course, but still, it's almost as though they're in a panic that something posh and comfortable can happen in Meghan's life. Everything has to be a punishment because they know that if Harry comes over, I'm pretty sure that they are already going to step up his security. But what was missing for the entire family was a review from Ravac, or was that the police that did the anyway? They are supposed to give an assessment. Harry has not had a proper assessment since 2019. Since 2019. And in spite of the fact that there was no assessment made after 2019, in 2020, they yanked their security away from him during the start of a global pandemic. Whilst Harry and Meghan was living in Canada, somewhere in the west part of the country. And his father took his security away. Security that he's had, an official royal protection officer, since he was born. I still say that that was the most vicious thing that his father could have done, was take his security away. That, to me, is an implied threat. I said what I said. That is an implied threat. You want to leave me helpless while these thugs with cameras, the paparazzi, are literally knocking on our door. That happened. It was caught on a Ring camera. So that's why I say you really can't turn your back on those people. They're way too dangerous, sinister. Anyway, let me take a look at what the article says here about that. Says Prince Harry could fail in his in his high profile bid for taxpayer funded security because the Home Office apparently fears the public backlash if it is granted. It is a distraction from Andrew. They want a big public debate so that people are no longer talking about Andrew. The prince has insisted that both he and wife Meghan and their children should all receive official police protection if they visit the UK. Now, earlier today, I just heard another one of those conversations where they were debating whether or not there should be protection for the Sussexes when they visit. And of course, a very seemingly reasonable sounding man told the other man that it was their choice to go off to Montecito. And this, when I start pounding my fist, he is the son of the king. He is the offspring, a child of a head of state. And there is no way around that. He is who he is, and he was born into the family that he was born into. And it's just not right to take his security away. And as far as I'm concerned, the Sussexes should have royal protection officers 24 hours a day, whether they never set foot back into the UK again or whether they purchase a manor house. Every United States president, in my memory, has had Secret Service protection for their children. Now, it is assessed at a later point, like, for instance, Kamala Harris. Kamala, am I saying it right? Kamala? I'm giving myself a complex again. Anyway, Kamala, her review was supposed to come up 6 months after leaving office. Now, see, I always thought the vice president would receive Secret Service forever. Well, that's not the case. Only for the president, not the vice president. And so Joe Biden decided to extend Vice President Harris protection for a year. The Orange Menace comes right behind him and was like, nope, 6 months. And then this is the more sinister part. This is what I mean by sinister. It's one thing if you want to take the security away, but to make a public declaration about it, like, hey, guess what? The vice president no longer has any type of official U.S. Marshal, state police, whatever, you name it. She ain't got none of that anymore. That's almost like saying, do what you will. I've just taken it away from her. And it's the same principle of taking away the Sussex security. It's the exact same principle. It is breathtaking, some of the people who will receive protection upon visiting the United Kingdom. But the son of the sovereign on the throne, filthy rich, has to do a song and dance before it's even considered. It's not right. It is so terribly sinister, the whole thing. It almost makes you believe, which for me it's not almost, I just believe what I believe, that they want to have them open and exposed like that. Because if that's not the case, then where are the royal protection officers? And rarely do they mention that Harry is the son of a head of state. Rarely is that ever mentioned out of the many conversations that I've seen on this topic. They rarely bring that up. Deliberately so, of course. Carolita Simone, did I miss your super sticker? Thank you so much for the super sticker. I think I almost, well, I did miss it, didn't I? Okay. So, anyway, uh, blaming the royal household in a thinly veiled comment. Oh, yeah, when Harry said that this seems like an institutional or old fashioned stitch up, he was right. He was right. Yeah, he was right. Okay, I'm going to move on. Anyway, the Sussexes, they still have each other. They have the security, the right level of security when they're in Montecito or traveling around the U.S. But it's just that thing. And, it seems so sure when they first mentioned that it would likely happen. And it seems like someone is determined to take that away again. And it's not that the Sussexes has done anything wrong or out of the ordinary. It's because they want this public debate. And as long as they're talking about uh, these matters of security, which, will not even, or should I say, which will be much bigger than discussing anything about Andrew, because we have been conditioned to pretty much ignore that. And then, of course, the big sensational headlines about the Sussexes, that's what sells. That is what sells. That is what keeps them in business sometimes. So, okay. Gonna move on. Oh, Martin. Love Martin. Have not heard Martin for a while. Let me cue that up. Okay. There we go. Let me cue up Martin. Patricia Ann Franklin. It has been a minute, hasn't it? I don't want to jinx myself, but this phone has not been doing that buffering like the old phone did. So I think we are in a very strong position with this phone. Let's see if that holds out. Mm. Uh-oh. Nope. That's the wrong one. Okay. All right, Marty, don't let me down.
Hey friends, happy Sunday. How the heck you doing? I went out walking with my friends yesterday, Saturday, near where I live. Can walk there, don't even need a car. The weather was glorious, had a brilliant time. Get to the point, Martin. We all thought the recent hit pieces on Meghan were because there's more revelations, more information coming to light about Andrew. But weirdly, and we've done a little montage here above, weirdly, William's affair rumours have come back with additional material, and they are back with passion and a bit of a vengeance, to be honest. You can pause this video to read the articles above, but basically journalists from credible media outlets are now coming forward saying, look, we couldn't talk about it at the time. We now can talk about it, mainly because most of them have lost their jobs. Ironically, they've lost the jobs because they didn't investigate the royals when they should have done. If they would have investigated the royals when they should have done, the readership would have gone through the roof, right? They would have actually retained their customers, but they didn't want to do it. Journalists are coming forward with the same information that they knew years ago, but they now feel free to publish. Yeah, there's also articles today about William, quiet faith, how he's going to be the new head of the Church of England. To be honest, the way this is going for this scrounging, unmoralistic group of idiots, I don't think William will ever get to be king. I think 2026 and 2027 are going to be pivotal for the UK, particularly with the instability of the world. Public support of the cost for the royals was 43% last year. It's dropped down to 25% this year. I think it's over for them. Anyway, I'll leave it there. My opinion's not important. Yours is. Comments are open. Let me know what you think.
All right, Martin, that was excellent. Okay, so, he makes a very valid point, and that is about the media, the journalists losing their jobs. Had they spent more time telling the truth about that family, they could have saved themselves. Okay, Feminegra actually has an article. The decision by Pink News to make its remaining reporters redundant marks more than a shift in newsroom structure. It exposes a deeper transformation within modern media, one that reflects a new reality in how stories are produced, prioritized, and in some cases, manufactured. We are definitely at a crossroad with media, because a lot of these so-called journalists, they are going to Substack. What's the other one? Is it the iPaper or whatever? There's other places where these people are headed to, where they can clearly express themselves without any fear of reprisal or any of that stuff. They are able to say what they mean and mean what they say. And so far, there has not been any way to change that. They, and of course, At some point, the media is bought out by some evil genius tech guy who happens to be a big right wing Republican. Then they just go to the next thing and the next thing. So they have things to say. And I really do hope and pray that um, they will step outside of the norm and really take that family to task, the Left Behind Royals, because there is a story there. There's probably a very big story, but they just won't tell it. And as Martin was saying, this idea that they're going to start talking about William's infidelity again, well, I welcome that, because my dream is that some of these more independent journalists will start the conversation, and that will keep the other reporters preoccupied with their defending the sovereign and his emotional support chicken. Um, you know what I mean? Throw the stick and let them try to catch it. Because if they're doing all that, then they're probably not focused on the Sussexes. I know it seems like an unbreaking chain that's shackled to them, holding them in place so that they can be humiliated on a regular basis. But trust me when I say this, things are going to get better. As a matter of fact, things were doing pretty good for about a couple of weeks there. There was that little sweet spot between the trip to Jordan and I would say the announcement about the trip to Australia. There was that little sweet spot where it just wasn't so intense. And then even after the announcement about the Australia trip, they were so. But within the past week, it has been like someone turned the heat up. And it's just been like that ever since. And even though they're repeating some of the same stories over and over again, it matters not. What matters is selling newspapers or clicks and engagement. That's what matters. And they are in it to win it. They are in it to win it. They're even doing shorts. They're even doing short videos. They're doing TikToks for the Daily Mail, for the Sun, and all the other papers. They are doing short videos. And I'm just like, well, who gets the money for that? Who gets paid from their effort of, let's say, sitting in front of the camera? Maybe you do that a couple of days a week. And there's the logo for whichever news group in the corner. Well, obviously, that's not your own personal video. Are they being paid to do that? Is that like part of their job now? But my big question is, when will they leave them alone for good? Not even in sight, but I'm hopeful. Jealousy? You betcha. Oh my God. I did not do anything to this photo. That is Kate's hair. Kate walked out of the house that day. And that's how her hair was. She didn't do anything to it. Okay, that's how her hair and somebody else's hair was. Because we are all getting the notion that those are extensions. And lots of them. Oh, but that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. That mountain on top of her head. The Bavarian woods. No, the Bavarian, what is it? The Black Forest. That's it. The Black Forest. And whole army battalion could disappear into that wig. Charles Lindbergh. No. Amelia Earhart. If you dig through that wig enough, you're going to find the wreckage of Amelia Earhart's plane. That's a promise. If you dig through that scalp or that wig cap, if you dig through that wig cap hard enough, oh, you are going to find oh no, I can't say that one. That is pretty bad. Okay, you'll find the lost colony of Roanoke. Remember Roanoke, Virginia? How the whole colony disappeared? You are going to find a whole bunch of peasants wearing those outfits that look like they are a fugitive from a Quaker Oats box. That's what you'll find. You're going to find all kind of debris. The bow section of the Titanic. All kind of stuff is up in that wig cap. Everybody has been wondering what happened to the Mayans. Why did they abandon their Why did they abandon their society? They didn't abandon it. They're in Kate's wig. That's where they are. So, if there's anything that has disappeared off the radar since the donor for that hair was born, chances are it's in that. Chances are it's in that wig. Yes, yes. Thank you. If we can just plow our fingers through that wig cap, um, Deborah Anderson was nice enough to point out that you are likely to find the earthly remains of Jimmy Hoffa. They're in there. They're in there. If we could just get access to it, there are so many unsolved mysteries that will finally have a dignified conclusion if we can just dig through that wig. Yeah. Well, maybe maybe somebody swapped her shampoo for a medication, one that enhances the love life. Maybe she shampooed with Cialis or something. That's what happened. Somebody substituted a medication, one designed to save the marriage, and somehow she shampooed her hair with it. uh, let's see. Carolyn Baker says these attacks coincide with the UK police have started to interview palace staff about Andrew. Also, Piers ran off his show at the right time because that man told him he was in the Epstein files 27 times. Thank you very much, Carolyn Baker. And that is so true. When he heard that EP mentioned all of a sudden he went into a panic. You know, that's probably what he does for exercise is running out of the studio. I don't have to take this. He sounds so pompous and arrogant. I don't have to take this. I'm not taking this. I don't have to take this. Oh, this is reprehensible. I don't have to take this. And then all of a sudden, he sets a new land speed record for a mammal on 2 feet. Yep. Anyway, thank you again for the super chat. Now, Prince William confirms quiet faith and new commitment to church. William committed to church when pigs fly. William committed to church. William goes to church a whopping, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, depending. And there's no way you're going to convince me that William is going to head the Church of England, the Anglican Church. He's not interested in all that. This is all a clever tactic. He wants his transition to the throne to be as smooth as possible. And so, like any two-bid politician, he is promising everyone the world. And I have been convinced that William is going along with this whatever situation. He's just going along with it. He has no intention of fulfilling those promises. People are going to look for a representative in the church. And that is supposed to be the sovereign. It is a church established by Henry VIII. It is a Protestant church, separating forever from the Catholic Church. And so, as the supreme governor of the church, we expect you to show up. But remember, he wants to be royal with a small r. William is going to produce some type of short film about his day at the church. And that will have to suffice for the remainder of 2026. That is just going to have to do. He is not going to change. He's already established himself as he is, and nothing is going to stop that, which I respect that. But he's making promises he cannot keep. He will not keep. Prince William confirms his quiet faith, his new commitment to the Church of England after years of doubt. William draws a line in the sand on religion while redefining his future role as supreme governor. They're there. Prince William may not attend church every day, but understands his duty. You almost had to laugh because clearly you can look at it, you can look in his eyes, and it's like he is mocking the entire world. He just wants the authority. but he does not care for the work. Chrissy, 1 month membership. Thank you so much for that. Will is the devil and an adulterer, allegedly. Down with the crown. Neiman Marcus. Chrissy, thank you for remembering. Thank you for remembering. Yes, if you don't recognize that, Neiman Marcus, that is the Welsh language. And that's something that Chrissy and I have in common, is that we have been studying Welsh for some time now. So when you really want to put the royals in their place, you just tell them, Neiman Marcus. And they just scatter like roaches. So thank you again for being a member for 1 month. And Lex says, quiet faith working behind the scenes. Say that you don't do work while trying to please the traditionalists. Is this why he will never forgive Harry? Yes, that whole thing. I just heard someone else say something about he will never forgive Harry. And it was in reference to William's lack of work ethic and William being overwhelmed by work. In that William expected to have Harry there to do the things that he did not want to do, just as Harry did while Queen Elizabeth was alive. There were certain things that the government and the Queen could only trust Harry to do. And the best evidence of that, when was the last time Will and Kate has traveled outside the country on a royal tour? When was the last time? They don't. And the government doesn't want to send them anywhere because they are a failure with a capital F. They might be royals with a small r, but they're failures with a capital F. Failures. They nearly lost half the Commonwealth on an all-expense paid vacation. Thank you for the super chat. Prince William struggles with the Church of England, says Royal Insider. That was back, my birthday, November the 3rd, 2024. Prince William feels embarrassed by certain aspects of the Church of England. Let me guess. Was it the, what part of the Bible is that? Is it Leviticus? Do you feel like there were certain references to his life was in Leviticus? Huh? Is that what got you? Leviticus got you woohoo? Apparently. Anyway, Prince William could break royal tradition dating back to Henry VIII when he becomes king. His father is very spiritual and happy to talk about faith, but the prince is not. Robert Hardman quotes a senior palace figure as saying about the difference in William and Charles' attitude around religion. And that difference is vast. His father pretty much embraced every religion, which is kind of problematic. The Church of England is like, but you are the head of this church. Charles used to say, okay, as king, you're supposed to be defender of the faith, meaning, of course, the Church of England. And Charles wants to change it to the defender of faith. Not the faith, but just faith in general. Whichever um, whichever uh, religious sect, whichever tribal, whatever you have with your religion, he wants to be the defender of everyone's right to worship, which I think is really nice. But for people that are more monarchists and less progressive, they want the monarchy to stay steadfast in the shoes of Queen Elizabeth II and Charles III. Or is he Charles IV? Or whatever. Anyway, that's where they expect you to stay. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stop trying to be other stuff. And in William's case, just come to church. Oh, that's a very good point. Can't have any faith without forgiveness. Thank you for that. That is absolutely beautiful. And in the wise words of Mr. George Michaels, because you got to have faith, faith, faith. You got to have faith. Baby, oh, never mind. That's that weird part of the song. That part of the song could get you locked up. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. If I can, I know not everybody has got a body like you, baby. Okay, where am I at here? Oh, I want to take that off the screen. All right. Go back here. So I want you to take a look at William enjoying an outing to the church with the supreme governor of the church at the time, Queen Elizabeth II. You can see from the look on his face, he is absolutely thrilled to be there. Look at his face. That's August 25 August 2019. Look at his face. His eyes are, what does his eyes say, you guys? What does his eyes say? Because I know what I think they're saying, but please, you all tell me what you think his eyes are saying. Besides masks, you know what? Or cereal, you know what? What is his eyes saying? Let me see. I got flames. Someone else says, is that AI? No, I am more than certain that this is the real thing. It's real. What his eyes are saying is that if I enter that house of worship without asking permission to, if I don't if I don't get a visa to enter that house of worship, I may turn into dust. I may turn into a pillar of salt. I might bathe in the flames of hell. Anybody as evil as that, they have to make an appointment before they go to church. I don't know how they do that. Does it take a financial offering? Do you have to save someone's life? There's something you got to do if you want to go to church, because that is the beast right there. No, but I'm just kidding. His eyes are saying what they always say. William does not have a lot of patience. He does not. Um, I promise you, if you go to the photos for the, oh gosh, what is that thing where they walk with the capes on and the big puffy feathery thing? What do they call that? Oh, Order of the Garter. If you ever observe him at the Order of the Garter, William has this smug look on his face the whole time because he does not like playing dress up. I think he's okay with the army outfits, but anything but beyond that can lead to problems because um, anything else could lead to problems. William does not like wearing a kilt. He does not like dressing up for the um, oh gosh, I just said it. The Order of the Garter. A lot of those things are a bit dull for him, and so that's why he has that look on his face. Likewise, let's get to Kitty. That's her look. Kitty's in the back seat. William is in the front with the chauffeur. And the Queen is just happy that somebody is going to church with her. And she probably did not believe her luck, couldn't believe her luck when they offered to come with. That is rare. Now they're in Balmoral. So when the family is in Balmoral in August, every year they go to Balmoral, it is pretty much considered necessary for the obligatory trip to church. But then after that, they're not going back to that church. I don't care how many months they stay in Balmoral, one and done. One and done. It's not fast paced enough for them. It is not. But Kate looks like the cat that ate the canary. You can almost see a little yellow feather out the corner of her mouth. They're not into this. They are really not into this. And guess what? You'll be amazed when I say this. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. But take the time off if you need it. Make up another mystery illness. Go over to Thomas Kingston House and I don't know, go after somebody else next time. Do whatever you do during your off time, but leave Harry and Meghan alone. Leave them alone. And of course, I'm just kidding. There's no evidence that anybody was at Thomas Kingston's untimely passing except for himself. Just so we're clear about that. But just leave Harry and Meghan alone. That's all I'm interested in. And just do whatever y'all gonna do and just forget about them. Just forget about them. But they can't because they're using them for cover. It's a one size fit all. They use the Sussexes for cover. Oh God, this guy. Oh my God, I cannot stand him. Oh, he's just awful. And that's why I'm about to play it so you can hear it too.
Last night about
Okay. Last night I couldn't get to sleep at all. No, no. Okay, where the heck did I put that? All right, I think I know where it is. Here we go with that again, right? I don't know where it is. Oh, that's too easy.
Harry, when his wife had cancer, through a crisis, another crisis. It lurches. William would need him. He would need Harry when his wife had cancer, and the royal family is going through a crisis, another crisis.
You know what? I didn't realize there was so much background music. That sounds terrible. As a matter of fact, that's why I wrote it out here, because of the background. But okay, so he said Harry must apologize to William. He would need his brother, speaking of William, he will need his brother. I'm sorry, he would have needed, I messed that up. He would have needed his brother when his wife had cancer. William having to make big decisions, and he would need his brother. I'm sorry, he would want to have his brother. I'm just tearing this up. And just imagine that. I wrote it myself. That's probably why it don't sound right. Um, I don't think William will be able to forgive him for abandoning him and dumping on him and his family. That's pretty much what he said. Harry needs to ask for forgiveness. William has to be willing to accept his forgiveness. William may never be able to forgive Harry for the things that he's accused the family of, and so on and so on and so on. Now, Zandy Sussex says this is one of the most unhinged yet. What does William, nearly 50, with a wife, kids, and a 60 plus staff catering to his every whim, need Harry for? Why should Harry apologize for being bullied and physically assaulted, then abandoned his own family to be Willie's slave and scapegoat? Yeah, it is unhinged. According to Harry, and I believe him, William attacked him. And even more ominous, when William and Harry had that encounter at Nottingham Cottage, we still do not know why William was there. He said he was looking for Meghan. If somebody is looking for your spouse and you end up rolling on the floor, breaking a dog dish from the weight of someone assaulting you, it's time to go. You are either going to stand your ground or you're going to leave. They left. It took a while, but they left. I don't think that a lot of people really understand how physically imposing William is. William is a very large person. Harry is very tall and scrappy, right? He's got a very wiry like build. Not so small, not so skinny. But look at William. Kate's not a small person. Look at how big he is. In her heels, Kate has got to be about 6 feet tall. Look at Willie. And then, of course, imagine having some, you know how when animals are warning you they're about to attack and they make their bodies big, they kind of puff themselves up, they kind of splay their arms out and everything. Well, what William does is he tilts his head down. He tilts his head down and he shows you all of that cranial mass. And he does that to intimidate people. He does that until the point where you say, "Oh, Jesus, please don't headbutt me. I don't think I could survive that." That's what he does. That's what he does. It's like a wrecking ball. If he headbutts you, that may be the last thing you remember for a couple of months before you wake up in the hospital. So, choose your poison. Pick or choose your poison. But yeah, my brother, the future king, has a beef with my wife. And no matter what I say or do, the public is likely to come down on his side because he's the future king. It's time to go. It's time to go. Whatever happens, you are going to be blamed. And even worse, they're going to say that your wife put you up to it. You got to go. There's no winning that one. You're just not going to win that one. So knowing when to exit is the wise thing to do. Naomi Maria, wherefore art thou? I have not seen you in forever. Yeah, William is a very large person. Now, Nellie says Prince Andrew's case is ramping up. Another crisis and a begging for the default scapegoat is getting out of control. Call for Harry to leave his family and tend to Prince William are louder. As Zandy said, it is unhinged. For whatever reason, I mean, let's just try to think about this. For whatever reason, I really do believe they want the Sussexes to come back. I really do believe that. If only to be the scapegoats. They need them desperately to come back. Something's not right. Something's not right. If they went back, we all know that there would be quite a nasty surprise waiting for them. But they're invested here. They have work here, they have a home here, and there's no doubt that they are going to continue to live in these United States. Now, whether they will take an extended visit for whatever reason, that's a possibility. Whether or not the kids are going to be there, if they're going to be gone long, probably they will. Okay. Kate Middleton's new routines are really helping William's mood after tough few months. The princess has been called a sounding board. I thought she was a baby brain. The princess has been called. What happened to baby brain? The princess has been called a sounding board, and she's proving irreplaceable in supporting him through difficult moments. Now, Zandy says she's the one who had cancer, allegedly, yet she still has to parent him through his tantrums and moods. Man baby Willie isn't her husband, he's her fourth child. Too bad. They deserve each other. It really does not make sense. If you're the one who had cancer, how are you babying your husband? How are you trying to pep him up and comfort him like he's the one who went through abdominal surgery and all that stuff? Okay. Yeah. Make that make sense. Boris Johnson, what happened in my manly chat with Prince Harry where I tried to talk him out of Megxit? Now, after all that's gone on, I have a simple message for both him and Meghan. Now, you know what? Boris Johnson has been very respectful where the Sussexes are concerned. And I'm saying for this particular situation, I don't know about any other situation, but he did spend some time with Harry. He tried to find a very subtle way to ask him to stay. Yep. So Boris Johnson told Harry, please stay. Just that simple. I mean, I could share the article with you, but I don't feel like I need to. Just stay. And at that time, when he mentioned that he spoke to Harry, he said that he took him to the side and explained to him that his work is not done here. And I will agree. There's so much more for Harry to do. But you're not going to keep him in a position where his wife and his children are being terrorized by tabloids. Okay. Well, I think that's about right. I think that's about right. Looks good, as a matter of fact. I don't know who's missing. I think it's Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah, I think it's Franklin Roosevelt. But that looks about right. Johnson is a lot of things, but he is no fool. He knows excellence when he sees it. All right, Kavan Salims, thank you so much for that. But it's true. He was very complimentary. He said just the right things. He said just the right things. Even when he didn't have to. Do you agree with this or not? Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, I was born to win. One of the squatties posted that, and I so agree with it. He is a born winner. Andrew's outcast life. Yeah, Andrew's outcast life. You guys, this is one of those situations where Andrew is trying to go for public sympathy. Anytime someone has been, shall we say, alienated, isolated. Anytime something like that happens and they want public sympathy, they go and sit out in the garden. They go and sit out in the sun. Philip Schofield did that with his mom when he was trying to win over public sympathy. And the tabloid said the moment when Philip Schofield told his mother everything, you know, that he's gay, that he lost his job because of some young man at work, and yeah. Okay. Prince Edward and the Duchess Sophie could be earning an extra £130,000 a year through their home. Now, we learned about that first, at least I did, from Hazel Jones, that they are leasing part of their property and making a mint. There are some people who believe that that excess money, that surplus, should go back to the taxpayers. It should go to the sovereign grant. That house was meant for them to live in. It is not meant to subsidize their lives. But because of that infusion of cash every year, they are able to afford a lot of things that otherwise they would not have had access to it. Now, the money only goes so far. As evident by Sophie's wardrobe, the money only goes so far. And by a nail penny of it touching Sophie. If it is at a it's at a car boot sale, a swap meet, a garage sale. That's the only way that money is touching Kate. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to do Sophie tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to drag Sophie tomorrow because it's already been an hour and a half and I'm drifting way past where I wanted to go. So, yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. Or if by some odd chance that I happen to come back at about midnight my time, I'll finish dragging Sophie. But if not, it'll probably be tomorrow. But yeah, I think that should do it for now. However, I did want to share a couple of things with you at the very end. And I'll see if I can grab those. You know how when I find something that I think is so adorable. My winter fat is gone. Now I have spring rolls. My winter fat is gone. Now I have spring rolls. Now I have spring rolls. Okay. Oh, I'll let that sink in. All right, Elaine gets it. Never make fun of someone who speaks broken English. It means they know another language. Hello. Yes, that is something that people need to remember when they are being so, full of themselves. Is remember that person that is speaking broken English, they are fluent in their native tongue and very proficient in the English language. Okay. What's the probability that Harry and Meghan owns a house or a penthouse in Canada? Hmm. You know, Harry and Meghan is making a lot of money, right? And when you have a lot of money, your accountants are always going to tell you to buy property. Buy property. So I'm going to say for now, okay. Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, I mm, I think it's a good possibility. I think it's a good possibility. Here's some more sage advice. You've survived too many storms to be bothered by raindrops. Okay. All right, one more. Tractor hub. Next time you hear that weird sound on somebody's phone and you thinking that they are, you know, try not to judge. It may not be the other one. Maybe, especially if you live in, I don't know, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa. Hey, I just noticed all of those start with the letter I. That's so weird, isn't it? Yeah. But just remember, um, okay. Isn't that fun? Tractor hub. Why? 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 I decided to share all of Kate's green dresses. Well, this is not all of them. Believe it or not, there are more. Can you tell which one of these people are not Kate Middleton? Can you tell which one is a character from my childhood? You would find them on the side of I don't know, cans of string beans. We'll do 1 through 5 from left to right. Oh well. Maybe this is too easy. Or I'm going to give you guys some history that you didn't know. Did you know that Kate could have kept her coat on and never exposed that hideous dress that she has on? If she would have only kept her coat on, I wouldn't be sitting here making fun of her right now. But she took it off. Why did she do that? She could have kept it on. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Love you guys. I will see you next time. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And yes, I will take my reflux medication just about nearly pert near on time. On the real. Okay, love you guys. See you next time.